Welcome. It's time. It's Nation's Corner time. We are here on another beautiful Saturday night, and we are celebrating pro wrestling. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Got so much going on, pretty much every corner of pro wrestling out there. So real quick before we get started, we got Mongrovian Mike. Stephen Wyand, as always, is our clutch whenever we need someone as a fill-in. Thank you, Stephen. And we got John in South Jersey. So how's everybody's week been going, Mongrovian?
Oh man, it's going great. It's going great. We had a really good week of wrestling and other stuff, and it's just been a good week, man. We're coming up on the holidays. It's I guess it's pretty much all like one of our last shows of the year coming up, and
Yeah,
ready to go, ready to start 24, and we're gonna have some new guests in 24 and new things we're gonna do in 24. Who knows what the hell we're gonna do, but we're gonna have fun doing it, man.
As always. Stephen, what you been up to this weekend or this week?
Oh, you know me. If it's not hanging out with you guys on Zoom watching wrestling, it's also me doing the sports show on YouTube as we continue our coverage of the NFL season. And yes, the playoffs are just around the corner. Playoffs. We're getting closer to the playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs, and also, of course, playing some music.
Absolutely. Before I get to you, John, I'll just, because my story of my week is much shorter than your story. My week has been packing boxes, packing, lots of putting away stuff, lots of throwing away stuff. We got boxes everywhere, as far as the eye could see. So yeah, that's my world this week. We got 2 weeks until move-in day. We went and checked out the new place today to kind of take some measurements and everything. So I'm very pleased with it. I can't wait. But yes, anybody who's moved knows how just horrible
you never know how much shit you have until you have to pack it up and move it. And you swear, A, you'll never do it again, and B, that's it. I'm just throwing everything out. I'm not bringing anything ever with me again.
Yeah,
it's like these bands that announce farewell tours. Oh, we're done. We're done.
Right,
no, you're
right.
not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And
we're done moving. No, you're not. No, you're not.
And Deb, make a note and post that we got to put the Jeffersons moving on up theme in behind your little opening monologue. Because
technically, I'm moving on up to the west side because I'll be on the
west side
of Allentown. I believe that's considered the West End. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, if you're going from Center City out, west.
Yeah, because West End Park is not very far,
right?
But that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But yeah, so we got 2 more weeks left. 2 more weeks left of the year. So it's crazy how this year has gone by so fast. But I'm excited to get into a new place, start the year off with kind of a fresh start. So that'll be nice. Anyway, John, how was your week and your Saturday morning?
It was pretty much my standard week up until, as you said, Saturday this morning. Actually, I was over at a place very, very dear to myself. The good old corner of Swanson and Rittner. And if you don't know where that is, by God, Google Map, people, please.
EC done. EC done.
You hear it coming down as you come down Swanson Avenue. You hear the echoes in the hall. Yes. I was over at the ECW arena. Although it is the 2300 arena for those folks social media savvy. I refuse to call it that.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. But yeah, I was over there. Icons of Wrestling was having their last show of the year as far as the wrestling convention, and subsequently a Battleground Championship Wrestling card there tonight at the arena as well. But I went over, wasn't really particularly going to see any of the wrestlers of today in the past in general. Just going to see a few new friends, or a few old friends, which I did, and actually made a couple new ones along the way.
Right.
If you check my social medias and the most dangerous leg in wrestling's social media, that of course is the AK9K, known as the Ass Kicker 9000.
Yeah.
We had quite the busy day. Again, saw a lot of friends of the show. Our girl Izzy was there with her lovely mom Jenny.
Yes.
Meeting and greeting with the folks. Got to spend quite a bit of time with them, which was always nice. And that kid is a bundle of energy. I guess
Yes, she is.
I guess because she's 16. That's the only thing I can attribute it to, because
Right.
that girl is nonstop. But it was great to spend some time with them. Another favorite of the show, the tag team couple, the High Flyers themselves. Of course, I'm talking about the Neon Ninja Facade and his lovely girlfriend, the Dynamite, Danny Moe, were there, and always good to spend time with them and talk and catch up with them. It's been a minute since I've been able to see either one of them live.
Yeah.
And they're both actually on the Battleground card themselves tonight, individually this time. Facade is taking on WCW legend Crowbar in a one-on-one singles match.
Nice.
For no particular reason, then why not? Danny, however, who has been in the past as well as Facade, a bit of a belt collector in her own right, is in the finals of the first ever Battleground Championship Wrestling women's title match, and that is a 3-way with her, Holiday, and I do not remember the third person. But as soon as I saw Holiday on the match, I'm like, this is not going to be fun for anybody, as we all know about Holiday. And of course, had to go and spend a little bit of time with my good friend, who I again haven't seen in person for quite a while, so it was great to see her. Of course, we are talking about the motherfucking King, Kylan King.
Yes.
It was great to see and catch up with her as well. We text and talk a lot, but it was the first time in a while we saw each other face to face, so that was pretty cool. And then I guess the one the pair that I really wanted to see or had an interest in, because they don't do many signings together, which I don't know why, and I asked them that, and they didn't know why either. Of course, I am talking about my OG Dirty Jersey couple. That is former TNA, and I'll say TNA now as a preemptive, TNA Knockouts champion, the Virtuosa, my OG Jersey girl, Deanna Perrazzo, and her husband. Well, I don't know if I'm breaking kayfabe here or not, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty common knowledge. Her husband, of course,
absolutely.
I am talking about Steve Macklin, who also is from Jersey, and coincidentally enough, started his wrestling career not 4 blocks from where I am sitting right now at the world famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So it was fun to speak with them. It's always great to see Deanna, obviously, and Steve and I had a pretty good conversation about the Monster Factory and everything else. But overall, good day. Little light on crowd, which I attributed to the holiday. I mean, not a lot of crowd, not bigger crowds that we've seen in the past there. Not a lot of big. The main headline name, I guess, was Booker T. Although they had a bunch of other. Ruby Soho was there. Devon Dudley was there. A lot of newer and younger talent, and that's kind of the important thing as well. Sure, all of us go to these conventions and stuff for to see a particular big star, particular current star, or even some of the legends. But man, there's a lot of these younger and newer talents trying to make their names and get out there in the wrestling world. That take the time. You're going to be there. You're going to be walking around. You're going to be waiting. But in the meantime, man, check out some of these younger talents and newer talents that are out there. Because where you see them now, the next time you see them, it might cost you a whole lot more money to be able to see them or talk to them.
Yeah.
And
that's
I could see that hundreds of times. But yeah, man, Icons always does a great show. It's in an iconic venue, obviously. And they I just, like I said, of a lot of the conventions and stuff I go to, it's one of my favorites to attend, besides it being so close. But
Right.
it's just cool. It's just cool, and to some, even to some of the talent, I guess I'm gaining a reputation as a official, unofficial ECW historian, because they all have questions about the building. And when they and thanks, King. Thank you, King, for diming me out to all your friends today. That literally I could answer any question about the ECW arena. Tell the story.
But that's awesome.
She's lucky I love her. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, but yeah. But other than that, like you guys all said,
when the king
man,
summons you, you go.
You bow down.
That's
or
it.
feel the pain.
Bow down.
Mm-hmm. But like you guys all said, man, we always joke about the old Cody Rhodes line, where you want to talk about what not to talk about, when or how, everything that happened this week. So
right.
Where do you want to start, Deb?
Well, why don't we start with probably the biggest thing that happened this week in WWE, which was on Monday. Seth Rollins and CM Punk had a promo battle that was I think it was probably Seth Rollins' best promo of his career. Obviously there's been some comparisons from that promo to the promo that Hangman had on Punk when Punk first arrived in AEW. There were some, similarities in kind of the message that he was sending, I guess you could say. But yeah, that was just such a captivating promo. For me personally, especially for Seth Rollins, because I think we've come to expect a certain kind of tone and message from Punk. Like we know what to expect from him. Yep. But this promo, I feel, for Seth Rollins was very, very different than any other kind of promo he's had before. Very personal, very poignant, I guess you could say, if you will.
If you will.
And I just, for me personally, I thought it was just a killer promo, and it really, really made me very interested in whatever they have coming up between the two of them. So, Mongrovian, what were your thoughts on that?
I thought that, I thought Seth came out a little toned down in the way he dresses, in his attire. For him, he was a little toned down, still flashy.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing mom's old shower curtains.
Yeah. There was no clown shoes. There was nothing. There was no.
Yeah. It was not laughing, Seth.
It was.
Yeah.
And he said something that resonated with me. He said, "I hate you."
Let the hate flow
I
through
think
you.
what they're doing is what we've been learning over the years is take something real, take a real life beef that you have with somebody and just magnify it and make that your story. Just like you get personality, take that and put that up to 110.
Absolutely.
Same theory, and it's got me, since Shinsuke, since his fighting with Shinsuke, his battle with Shinsuke, that he's got me a little more interested. At least there's a little more. There's some layers to him now. He's showing a little vulnerability. He could sell the stuff a little better, but that was with Shinsuke. That's the past. This is going to be good. This, as soon as we heard Punk was signed, I don't think anybody here thought anyone less than Seth should have been the first person.
Oh yeah.
Only
Yeah.
because we know of all the back and forth on social media between them. So
Mhm.
it's real life strife with them, and plus there's
Yeah.
also storylines that got changed because Punk left that Seth
Right.
and him were involved in. So they got a lot of stuff to chew on there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in for the long haul.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what I kind of one thought that I had is, since Punk came back to WWE a couple weeks ago, there's, a lot of chatter of what people think of it. Are they for it? Are they against it? Do they like it? Don't they like it? I've kind of settled in the opinion that I just, I'm along for the ride. Like, whether I agree that he should have gone to WWE or whatever is really kind of like, it kind of doesn't matter. I'm along for the ride, however long it lasts. Like Seth said in his promo, sooner or later, sooner or later, like, whether
Don't
if
forget
that
Drew
happens again or
McIntyre,
not,
too.
who knows?
Yeah.
But
Drew McIntyre said it too. Brought the
yes.
same thing up.
Yeah, so
Then you're
for however long it lasts,
cancer,
whatever happens, I'm just along for the ride, and I'm gonna enjoy the entertainment that they bring to us.
So I mean, he's gonna get all of that. Anybody that's had any history with him in the past will be taking that, with him, and But he, you know what? On the flip side, Punk looks like he's having the most fun that he's ever had. I don't. You know what I mean? It could be whatever it is, staged or produced with them. It doesn't matter. The guy doesn't look miserable. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing because we said all those same things when he first came to AEW, that he looked happy, he looked healthy, he looked like he was having fun, and
there was the
obviously somewhere along the way things went sour. But I feel like it might be just one of those cases, and who knows, if it's just, things got in the way of Punk doing what Punk wanted to do, maybe. And
you mean the Young Bucks?
Yeah. It's it didn't pan out like anybody really thought it would,
and it was a real quick decline as well.
Yeah,
because you're right. When he first came back, when he first came back with AEW, yes, it was fantastic, especially after all the years of just being out of wrestling. Period.
He had the number one seller for how many weeks on Pro Wrestling Tees?
And for all of us
for the whole year,
fans,
people were selling melted ice cream.
Broke the internet the day he came back. It was amazing.
But and just for the simple fact, much like when Bryan Danielson came back, much like when Edge came back. Okay, yes, there was this huge pop heard around the world because, if for nothing else, we didn't have to hear CM Punk chants randomly at every arena and live show. He was back. He's in wrestling. Go watch it. And you're right. It seemed to start off very well. It was great. And unfortunately, it was all good until it wasn't. And, will we ever really know the entire backside? I mean, there are plenty of people on the internet that claim they know every single detail and everything else, but whatever. For whatever reason, it was all good.
Don't you think the problems that he had in WWE, 10 years ago were different than the problems he was experiencing in AEW?
Oh, yes.
So
I think
that's
absolutely
different. So now, okay, so he experienced that for what, a year and a half for him was obviously a bunch of bullshit going on that he didn't like.
Yeah.
Did he deal with it the right way? No. Does Tony know how to deal with the scrum? No. Because
don't. That's an entire show.
Yeah, you put Triple H in that chair there. You put Tripp in that chair, and there's no way that Punk is going to sit there and make the company look like shit with his logo on a belt sitting right in front of him.
Right.
Triple H would have cut that shit. He would have did a Negan,
Mm-hmm.
I will
That
shut
shit won't
that
fly
shit down.
down. Absolutely.
I mean, when
Yeah.
you look at the promo, that happened on Monday, I mean, it was as real as we have heard Seth in such a long time, because
Punk
that
ran
was
after him, bro.
like his tone, his inflection, and the words that he was saying. I believed every single word that man said in that promo. When he said the line, "I hate you," it was stone cold serious. I mean,
Yeah.
it
What?
was.
Oh wait, not that
Hold on.
simple.
Yeah,
Never
it was just a very good promo from Seth, and in my opinion, it's not one of his best promos. I think it is his best promo in his professional wrestling career. I mean,
Yeah.
this prints money, and on top of that, what also made this great is how Punk said, "I'm not coming after you at the Rumble. I am punching my ticket into the Rumble match itself."
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and it definitely it's definitely interesting to see, because I think, Seth Rollins has kind of built this reputation of professionalism. That he's a workhorse. He, through all the years that he's been there, he's had different characters, he's had different storylines, and he's really found his way to excel at all of them. And he's, consistently defended WWE against, haters, or, this thing with Seth Rollins talking about how he doesn't like Punk. That's been happening for years, because Seth Rollins is a company guy, and he will defend them no matter what. And
I mean, he said in the promo, you're gonna come back into our place,
My home.
my
Yeah.
place,
Yep.
to my
Yeah.
home.
Mhm.
I've been busting my ass here for the past decade. 10 years ago, you talked literal trash about my company that I've been a part of since you've been gone. And I've been here all this time, working so hard and busting my ass day in and day out in that ring, outside of that ring. And I get why Rollins said what he said, because I mean, if you are in any situation and then when a person that talk crap about you or your company and they come strolling back in, the person that had a vendetta against you is going to retaliate and go, "Oh, so now you want to come back into our company, and especially into my company when I've been doing this for years? Where the hell have you been? You haven't been here. You've been
think
gone."
about it in any
years.
regular job. Like, if you're someone who actually really does like your job, not a lot of people actually really love their job, or really are behind the company they work for. But if you are someone that really does love your job, you're good at it, you love the company you work for, you believe in their mission, and someone who you used to work with left and then publicly badmouthed your company and everyone in it, and then they get hired back, and you're like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
exactly.
now you want to come back in here? Okay.
And we've known, we have always known, and especially since the return of Punk to WWE, we knew that him and Seth Rollins was going to be a thing at maybe not right away, but at some point, because it's too real to ignore. And that's why everybody is absolutely riveted and sucked in and 100% buying all of what's going on so far. And we have literally just scratched the surface, because they're honestly, if you look at it, and maybe any other time and any other company, this would be the number one main story that they would run with. And that's not the case.
Right.
You still have
that, but that's how good, and that's it's absolutely unreal, because you have this, Punk and Rollins, all the public social media stuff and everything else, all the thing. It's not your main, still not your 100% story, and it just started. but you have the bloodline. You have Cody Rhodes and finishing the story. You have so many different things now intertwined. It's, Monday nights and Friday nights have become must watch. Period.
Yeah.
They have you for the whole. They have us for the whole 3 hours, and dude. Okay.
Yes.
Deb, a year and a half ago, you weren't even watching Monday night. You gave up
I stopped watching Raw for about 2 years just because like Seth and I would sit here and we would watch Raw every single week. Like, our fandom has trained us. We've been trained till we watch Raw Monday nights at 8 o'clock.
It was Raffle.
Raffle. Yeah.
And
we sat here every single week and watched Raw, and then it came to a certain point, like, so many weeks, like, we weren't interested in most of the show. We ended up playing on our phones, like scrolling through Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And then it just got to a point. It was about the summer of 2020, when we both kind of one week were just like, do you just not want to watch Raw tonight? Do you want to watch something else? And like 3 hours of my life, that I don't want to watch a show I'm just not interested in. So yeah, we didn't watch Raw from it was about the summer of 2020 till SummerSlam, when it was announced that Triple H was taking over.
Yep.
That's when we started watching Raw again.
This is what people have to. This is what people have to do. Just give it a shot, and because Shawn Michaels is killing it on in NXT, and anyone out there that complains about women's wrestling, just watch NXT. It's very. I'd say NXT is probably like 50-50 almost all the time of between women's matches and men's matches and then mixed matches. But Monday Night Raw, though, I mean, they got everybody is in a story. Everybody has something going on, even if it's that's Nikki Cross standing in the background there.
Yeah,
this
randomly,
is reminiscing of Ruthless Aggression in the
like
Attitude
that.
Era.
R-Truth is back. R-Truth thinks in.
Praise all that is holy. The Truth Killings has come back.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Thank God.
He thought he was part of Judgment Day.
Yeah, we mean
God,
he is part of Judgment Day. Yes, he will tell you.
I know. Yeah, he got to beat that though on Monday from it.
My bad.
You know what?
R-Truth is the man.
He is absolutely and underappreciated.
I'm really glad that R-Truth has been kind of put in the spot that he's been put in right now, because it's playing to his strengths. He's freaking hilarious.
Yes.
Everybody loves him. He's hilarious. So why not put him in those, and when he has a match, he's a great wrestler. The matches are great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
his powdered sugar all over our locker room.
Yes.
The comedy part is he's so good at that, and he's so lovable. Why not just have him do that? That's what he's good at.
Yeah, R-Truth is absolutely one of those guys
if you can't have him out, Jeff, if you can't have him come out after the 6 men are chosen for the ladder match,
right?
Yeah,
and he comes out and challenges them to the Royal Rumble.
Right,
It's just like you can't. You have to have that. You need that.
Think
he's the
real
only
quick.
guy that can break Brock Lesnar.
You just took the words out of my mouth, Mike. He's the only guy that can break Brock Lesnar. Okay, I am undeclared from the Royal Rumble. I thought I was wrestling Paul Heyman. I could be him, but it's fantastic, and it's just a small piece of overall what has been just such on white hot fire product. From
Tony's right. Even with Liv Morgan's has something going on. She just has a little more realism. In her
she just had a little weed on her.
They
Give
might
her a
have to
break.
hire Riddle back. I don't know.
She did something illegal.
Her only mistake was that she was.
Hey! This is still America. Guilty or innocent until proven guilty.
Have her
Give
run
it
into
deep.
Wesley. Have her run into Wesley, and let's get them doing something then.
Yeah, that would be
Well,
cool.
all right.
Yeah.
But and we're going to touch on it,
Have
I
her
think,
come
in a
back and go
second.
to
But
Wesley. Here's your little pink furry bag I held for you. Thanks.
Oh my
What,
God!
you don't have
Yes.
that prop yet?
Okay. It's a small little sidetrack. I like Liv Morgan more now that I know she has a pink furry bag for her weed.
Weed. Well, does it?
Sounds like a
But
song. Let's write a song.
that's yeah.
I love
And
it. I love
that
it.
makes in any other context it would be like what? But it's a little more. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It makes absolute perfect sense.
Does it
But,
sound like a Primus song? I don't know.
It sounds like it.
Liv's
It
got
sounds
a
like
pink
it. It
furry
sounds like it needs a
bag.
less
Feels
Claypool
for
bass line
weed.
to it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
Joe, go ahead.
yeah, no. What I was alluding to was there was another very, speaking of WWE, switching over to SmackDown last night. At the end, there was another very interesting sort of face-to-face type of thing, similar to Punk and Seth. And we had an appearance of God Mode himself, the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns, with the bloodline involved. You had a confrontation with another recently returning superstar in the Apex Predator, Randy Orton. But wait, there's more. Last night we saw the return of the phenomenal AJ Styles.
And boy, does he look good.
Man, what is it with these guys that go out with big injury? Because Reigns the same way. These guys were not sitting on the couch eating chips and just kind of checking stuff out. These guys were putting in work.
They put in the work.
AJ Styles, for his entire career, has been a smaller size guy. Yeah, you might want to rethink that. No. I mean, he still has soccer mom haircut, which I have my own thoughts on that. But AJ looked, pardon the pun, phenomenal.
Phenomenal, yes.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And again, here we have all these absolutely 100% engaging stories going on in WWE.
He was wearing one of those shirts.
He was going Giant Gonzalez route. Hey, it worked once. Why not? But and again,
having 25 kids helps you stay in shape, I guess.
Imagine him and Mark Briscoe are not allowed to get hurt and be out of action for a long time anymore.
Tattoo the kids' names on their bodies. They're running
right.
Well, Mark Briscoe's about out of ribs to tattoo all his kids' names on, and he's got to add another one because there's a seventh due soon. Jesus, chicken, stop getting hurt. Go read a book.
Yeah, so last night, so you guys know because you were on Zoom, but for everybody else, last night, so I was watching ROH Final Battle. I wasn't watching SmackDown,
as you should have.
Well, we caught up on it earlier this afternoon, so
okay.
But yeah, so I wasn't watching SmackDown last night as it was on, and then I'm totally gonna blow up Chad's spot right now. Chad said, I'm straight, but holy shit, does AJ Styles look amazing. And I was like, okay, I gotta go check this out. So I clicked on YouTube TV on my computer here, rewound it a couple minutes, and was like, oh, holy cannoli, my goodness, look at him.
Deb, I honestly thought you were going to go into some sort of overload with both Randy Orton and AJ in the ring at the same time. I was medically concerned for you for a minute.
My brain was going to start twitching.
Yeah, something. I was waiting. Do you remember the movie Scanners? Right before everybody's head exploded, they get that real weird fast twitch. Oh, well, if you ever see the movie Scanners, I was waiting for that, and I'm like, oh, it's too late. But
I did need a drink. Thank you. But yeah, I'm super happy to see AJ back. He's sorely missed. My goodness,
Yeah,
him and
and
Orton both. It's just it isn't the same without them.
right,
Um,
and yet again, here's yet another wrinkle in what all of everything that is going on in WWE right now.
Yeah.
If you think about it, just in I'll say the past month, you came off an incredible Survivor Series with the War Games matches and everything, and the return of Randy Orton. Couple that with the return of CM Punk shortly after, and now here you are. You have the return of AJ Styles. All three absolutely main event top guy stars that can literally be, it's the bad problem to have. Well, what do we do to top this? Oh, well, let's have AJ Styles come back in. And how many stories or who's he going to get involved with? So you have to tune in either Raw or SmackDown every week just to see who's doing what or where. And and again, on top of the Bloodline, on top of all the LA Knight. Thank you. Judgment Day on Raw. The Judgment Day right now. The only thing,
and on top of
who's the
Don? We also got to see. We also
he popped himself.
Jimmy go yeet.
Yes, Yeet has returned.
Oh my God!
I don't know who wrote the check. I don't know if somebody threatened to have their kneecaps broken. But whatever it is, we got Yeet back. So we can yeet on.
Like the ADHD cousin that you got to keep come on, man. Come on.
Something. But
just that part from SmackDown where Jimmy goes yeet and then Roman looks at him and then they both do the slow turn looking at each other. And Jimmy knew he fucked up. And he's
looks back at Roman and goes,
putting his feet all over his couch and stuff again. Man, no respect. How you go, how another man's dressing room and put your feet all over his couch?
Oh my God!
But you see now everybody says, "Oh, it's unseatable." Now they come back, and now you realize what you missed. I think they're doing it perfect because if we had Roman every week, I understand he's the champion. They should be in matches and whatever, not putting a belt up, but just freaking be there. I remember back in the day, Hogan would be there and he would team up with Brutus Beefcake on a Saturday Night Main Event or whatever.
Right.
Stuff like that. He's just gone. He's on his island and he's But you listen, whatever. It's bump free money, man.
Yeah, and again, Mike, just my quick opinion of this. The common denominator, if we look at, you look at Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, again, we used to bitch and moan, oh, he's never on TV. He's the champion that never defends. But every time Brock was, whether it be just on one of the shows or on a pay-per-view, you were absolutely tuned in to see him watch because it was Brock Lesnar. You have the same effect now, slightly, stories and stuff aside, but you have the same effect now with Roman Reigns. Common denominator.
You would complain, but the pop that you heard as soon as you hear those first guitar strings of Brock Lesnar's music, and then
all would be forgotten. All would be forgotten.
Then all of a sudden, okay, whatever. I admit it used to piss me off. I'd be like, what the hell? I was like, oh wow, what's the name? Trinity had to give up the belt.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll finish this real quick and we can move on. The common denominator in both of them, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. You are watching a master at work using human chess pieces, telling his master thesis story.
Sometimes he doesn't even have to utter a word, too.
Paul Heyman has told more story with just his actions and facial expressions
Yeah.
And really, yes, it's Roman delivering it and everything else, but
Roman,
this has the bloodline has had Paul Heyman's fingerprints all over it from the beginning, and truly, this is a guy telling his master story, and
Yeah.
that's the common denominator, and that's why it works.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get that out there real quick, but
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on. We we went a bit long there with that discussion, but that's okay. That's
we're
okay.
live, buddy. We
Hey,
can
wasn't
do
do
what
it
we want.
live.
Punk at
We're
least,
live.
right?
We're doing live.
So yeah, let's talk about ROH Final Battle last night.
Yes.
And then we got coming up when we're finished here, Collision with continuing the Continental Classic. So some good matches coming up later tonight. But yeah, let's talk about Final Battle last night. John, take it away there. You're the ROH historian.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that title. Yeah, Ring of Honor put on Final Battle, which is, of course, their final pay-per-view for the year. And usually, in years past, under original Ring of Honor, was kind of the big go-home show for Ring of Honor. A lot of feuds and stories that had been going on during the year were finished up and paid off. Any of the newer ones were started, etc. Slightly different now under the AEW banner. But as we say for a lot of AEW stuff, we may not always agree with how it's built up or how a story is laid out or anything, but 100% top to bottom, the matches all delivered. The talent in the matches 100% gave everything to put on a good show, and truly had that, to steal a WWE line. They all had that okay, top that attitude.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The biggest point for me, and no, I know you're all thinking it. You're all absolutely waiting for me to say it. My absolute favorite match of the night, was not the 6-man tag with Blackpool Combat Club and then Top Guys. What?
Can I guess?
Sure.
The all ego Ethan Page. I quit.
No,
you son of a...
that was not my favorite match of the night. If you don't see any other match from the Ring of Honor Final Battle card, watch the main event.
Mister.
What?
No,
yes, the main event, Athena, Billy Starks.
For the first time in
that
Ring of Honor history, or excuse me, second time in the entire history of Ring of Honor, a women's title match main evented the pay-per-view. And Athena and Billy Starks absolutely killed it.
Crushed it.
It is a top 10 of the year match in anybody's, and that's not just because it was not top 10 women's match, top 10 match.
Yeah.
They were obviously given that spot because it was rightfully deserved.
The champ, and Athena is the face of ROH right now. Let's not make any other.
For anyone who's been paying attention to Ring of Honor, Athena has been carrying that show.
Absolutely.
She absolutely has carried that show every
been carrying
single
that whole
week.
Promotion.
Yes, she has great matches, great promos. She is kind of the thread throughout that whole show. And it was definitely deserving of the main event.
And Billy Starks is a star. Billy Starks has arrived at the ripe old age of just turned 19. Think about that for a second.
Insane.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Insane.
That girl, that right there, and again, rightfully so. That's your star for the next 10 years. That's your promotion builder for the next 10 to 20 years. The young lady literally has her whole life and whole wrestling career in front of her, even though she has been doing it for going on 5 years now, or 6 years.
That's crazy.
And it is, but she is that good. She did not cower and fold under the pressure of being in there with the longest reigning Ring of Honor Women's Champion, the face of their promotion and all that. She did not buckle. She did not shy away. She 100% brought it. And to be personal for a second, I had the pleasure to work with Billy one-on-one with another promotion when she was still doing indies for a storyline and matches we did with her. I can't be more happy and proud for her for what she has already accomplished, and my mind just can't quite grasp what that young lady is going to be capable of in the future. But and that's my rant on that. What my favorite overall, amazing card. I know it's the Tony Khan effect, and no, I don't agree with it. But there were a bunch of things, and we even were talking about it on Zoom. We're like, oh, we only got what? Wait, no, they didn't have this match. Oh yeah, well we got that one, and then we're like, oh okay, now wait, no, they didn't have that match. So they, he did some changes and stuff, but everything was delivered. I'm not going to go through match by match or the card, but definite highlights for me. For nothing else, folks, we got a good old fashioned capital HOSS hoss fight last night. Not a match, not a technical thing. We got big men slapping meat, and I'm talking about the for he is limitless Keith Lee against one of my absolute favorite Ring of Honor wrestlers, and the head and the captain of Shane Taylor promotion, Shane Taylor. And again, the only thing I can say is if you like seeing big guys beat the hell out of each other and have a super physical match, and it was absolutely that and very entertaining. Yeah. We have a new Ring of Honor television champion and one part of Aussie, Aussie Open and the United Empire, Kyle Fletcher. Yeah. One there, they had a survival of the fittest tournament under ROH rules.
But fuck that.
Well, your shoes, your really your shoes and Long Island water. Oh, you live dangerous. Anyway, but yeah, he won the wound up winning the survival of the fittest tournament because we all know Samoa Joe dropped the TV title to make a run after MJF on AEW for the AEW World title, so they needed the new World TV champion. And again, very entertaining matches. Shout out to the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, an independent fella that you're going to start to know quite a bit about if you haven't already. Guy's really good, and he is getting his shot again. Another one that got his shot in the spotlight and did not fold or cower. Did very well in the tournament. Now, obviously didn't win it, but made a very good showing and had to wrestle his way in earlier in the night to get qualified for it. Right. We did not see a world title match. Boo. We did not see a tag title match. Boo. Why? Because they're stuck on AEW. That's another rant. I'm not going to go. Don't rant about that. Don't rant about that. Don't rant about that.
But yes, we did not see those. But we got an absolute killer match between Ethan Page and Tony Nese.
Yes.
Y'all know I'm a big fan of Ethan Page. I fell in love with him towards the end of his time at Impact. When he was doing the Karate Man stuff.
Rest in peace, Karate Man.
When he was teaming with Josh Alexander, it did something about him was just very interesting to me.
I miss Karate Man.
And then he came to EW. He's had some ups and downs. He's had some interesting storylines. Men of the Year, the stuff with Matt Hardy, but he needed that extra something. And I'm sure everyone's noticed that he's looking amazing now. He's been working with Cesar Bononi, however you say it. He's his personal trainer and, puts together all his workouts and his meal plan and everything. So he's looking great. He's probably definitely in the best shape of his life. And he has a fire lit under his ass for sure. the promo leading up to this match, and then the promo that was posted on social media after the match. He's got something to prove. He's had an incredible year of ups and downs. And he decided to kind of step away from doing the YouTube stuff for the most part. He's still going to put vlogs out here and there. But he was just on Chris Van Vliet's podcast last week or the week before, and talked about how he really went all in and doing toy hunt stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And then it started to feel like work for him, and he realized that maybe he was putting too much time and effort into doing the YouTube stuff and all that. And he's really focusing on the wrestling now, focusing on being as best as he could be. I am so proud of him. I don't know if you guys saw me on Zoom last night when he won. Like, I was literally tearing. I am so proud of him. You could see the emotion in his face. Like, he was almost crying. And seeing Mark Henry too, that was that was so special.
I was a big pop.
Not only seeing Mark Henry come out and handcuff Smart Mark Sterling to the ring, but then seeing Mark come out at the end and raise Ethan's hand, was just very special. A nice endorsement. And I just one more thing. Smart Mark Sterling is the greatest heel manager that there is now. He is, the heel you'll want to see him get his ass kicked. You like the whole time. I was like, kick his ass. That is what he's there for.
We were,
he's a human punching bag.
AK9 first, John. Smart Mark Sterling or Don the Carney fuck cows?
Ooh, why you got to tease me like that? Are they like side by side or just one on one?
I don't know. You have to choose one first, so the other one can like start running away.
Man, I would love to just absolutely break AK9 across that fucking Kanuki and Carney mother effer no sock wearing. Oh God! You think that mark on his head's big now? Let AK9 KO loose on it. Here, how good is Mark Sterling? I'm going to try not to give away all the match, but obviously because it's Smart Mark Sterling, everything he finagles and gets himself out of the handcuffs that he was handcuffed to the ring with by the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. We were all literally cheering and rooting when he got out of the handcuffs for Mark Henry to come back down to the ring, beat his ass, and handcuff him again. That's how good Mark Sterling is.
Enforcer, let's go. Let's go. Kick his ass. Punch him in the face. Slam him.
Yes. And he did get some comeuppance. Like I said, I'm going to try not to give away the match for people who haven't seen it. He does get some comeuppance. But also, not to be overshadowed by, and again, the match itself was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, speaking of returns, but the match was absolutely fantastic. Both Ethan and Tony Nese, besides either one of them not probably seeing a car since the Reagan administration, were and those that aren't quite familiar, Tony Nese, they call him the premier athlete for a reason, because A, he is, and two, he is absolutely a phenomenal in-ring wrestler. Never, there's no such thing as a bad Tony Nese match. But again, a nice return. We had this seemingly is the week of returns.
Yeah.
Ethan Page's old buddy, Scorpio Sky, comes out and makes a nice return. And it was a nice feel-good moment to see him and Ethan back together. You know, do they go forward with Men of the Year and everything? Who knows? But in the moment, at the time, it was a really cool way for it to for the match to end out. And then, of course, Ethan getting the win. A bit of validation for him for the up and downs he has.
Yes.
To be 100% honest, I hope him and Scorpio both stay in Ring of Honor. I think there's more opportunities and more of a showcase for them going forward than trying to fight for what little airtime there is on AEW.
Yeah, John, I
Right.
think there's more meat on the bone for those guys in ROH, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've been thinking Dead Man Rampage too, though. I had to watch that. I had to watch that first today.
Yeah.
When I woke up this morning with my coffee, I had to watch.
Yeah.
The Von Erichs back. And
yeah, and that was
like, Steven, how worked up do you get when you hear that freaking that one of the greatest riffs in rock and roll guitar history?
I mean, when that opening riff by the Nudes comes on, it gets your blood pumping, you know. And
to see the Von Erichs,
yes,
there's nothing like
and that crowd. My God,
yeah,
Yeah.
and if you think the pop for them on Rampage was loud, because of course that was taped Wednesday night and all that. Check out Final Battle, and when you hear those notes start playing again, and they come out because they did have a match on Final Battle, and which means it's on
YouTube.
Yes.
So even if you don't have Honor Club, the ROH app, go to their YouTube. You can watch 0 Hour on there and see their match.
And the state of flux of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships right now, as it may be, if I mean, and I know we seem to
Von Erich country for tag team.
Dude, if you don't take if Tony Khan does not see what he has in Ross and Marshall Von Erich, and I absolutely they get signed, and then you go and park their asses in Ring of Honor, and you rebuild the tag team division. The tag team division of Ring of Honor, and those are the foundation stones that you build it on, and you will and give it time and all that, and you absolutely have probably what at traditionally has been one of the best tag team wrestling divisions.
Yes.
In all of wrestling for years, the standard has been Ring of Honor as far as tag team wrestling, and that's how you take full advantage of the situation presented to you, especially with the Von Erichs. But speaking of tag team wrestling, of course, the most fun, the most brutal, heartfelt, tug deeply at my heartstrings last night, of course, was the 6-man tag team match. Them top guys, Daxon and Harwood, and he acts like a crazy chicken farmer from Delaware. Why? Because he's a crazy fucking chicken farmer from Delaware. Talking about, of course, Mark Briscoe taking on the Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Brian Danielson, and a fight to honor marking the passing and the final match of one Jay Briscoe.
Yeah.
A lot of hype behind it. Everybody kind of knew, especially with the players and the people involved in the match, this wasn't going to be a technical spectacular. Yeah. This wasn't going to be, oh, wow, they really, there weren't going to be 10,000 Hurricane Ranas and super kicks and double flippy floppy flip on films. This was going to be a fight. Yes. So much to the point that everybody got counted out. And the match technically was over. Oh, but wait, there's more.
Mark said, "Oh, hell no."
Oh, hell, that is my absolutely Deb. I stole that myself. That is absolutely my new most favorite meme ever. And that's right. Chicken gets the microphone and says, "Oh, hell nah. This is a match to honor my brother." And they turned it into, which is traditionally, again, I thought was a fantastic nod to original Ring of Honor and the legacy of not only the Briscoe brothers, but to Jay Briscoe. They turned it into a fight without honor, which is basically Ring of Honor's equivalent of no DQ, no holds barred, anything you want. And then those 6 guys proceeded to go everywhere and anywhere around the arena, beating the living hell out of each other. And as Mike said he loved it. Why? Because there wasn't a kendo stick in sight. We had tables, we had thumbtacks, we had barbed wire, we had chairs. Oh my! And
We
those
had barbed
6
wire
guys
ladders.
beat the hell out of each other, and absolutely, it was said many times, and I'll absolutely echo it. It would have been something that Jay Briscoe would have been proud of. They absolutely, the 6 of them absolutely did Jay complete justice in the way that was done. We got a lot of the hits, especially from Mark. He hit a couple froggy bows, one off and one missed, but that happens. And again, finally, what does he finish the match with? He hits Jay's signature move, the Jay Driller, and that was absolutely the way to perform it and how it worked. They must make people different in Switzerland. I don't know if Claudio Castagnoli has altered chemistry that he's not capable to bleed, or he, is just that strong and tough. I mean, we know he's the Swiss Superman and all that, but
I don't know.
all 5, and oh yes, okay, we'll take the obvious jokes aside that John Moxley was probably bleeding on his way to the ring before it started. Take all that. Every single of the rest of them were all bloody messes.
Yeah.
Dax Harwood looked like grandma's pincushion with all the thumbtacks she had sticking out of him. Claudio Castagnoli looks like he barely broke a sweat, was ready to go back, sip some coffee, and maybe take a light, quick shower, change, and go home.
Yeah, right.
And that was like the only thing I was like, but then again, it's Claudio, and it makes sense. But there were subtle nods during the match, different things they did. They did the Doomsday Device, which of course famous by the Road Warriors, but then was adopted by the Briscoes for many years. Again, it was absolutely, like I said, my heart felt just because of my connection with Mark and Jay.
Yeah.
That it was absolutely something that at any point I could have easily, even just in my mind, watched that match and say, yeah, that's something Jay would do. That's something Jay would do. Jay wouldn't have had this end on a count out. Jay would have said, nah, we go keep fighting. And if you notice, before they did all that, they rang that bell and had every ref and quote unquote security out there. They're still fighting. None of them wanted to stop. So you knew it wasn't going to end on just some kind of double count out thing. But and absolutely was a phenomenal match. One other point I want to make up about that, speaking of Blackpool Combat Club, Wheeler Yuta is the pure wrestling champion for Ring of Honor, the pure title holder, and pure matches are done under different rules and stuff than a regular wrestling match, and it's something that if you've never been a fan of Ring of Honor or new to it, you may not understand it. And I always appreciate that before any pure rules match, they go through and explain the differences that between that and a regular wrestling match.
Right.
And Wheeler Yuta is recently won it back from Shibata, but he is the 2-time Ring of Honor champion. And I think it's an absolutely fantastic fit for Wheeler. He has that kind of a more technical pure wrestling background that doesn't always translate into the quote unquote hard-nosed style of the Blackpool Combat Club. So I think that and it's one of those things that you look at it and you know it's something different. And I fully understand if fans say, oh, I don't like this isn't it's not everyone's cup of tea. But if you have a chance to watch any kind of a pure rules match, regardless of who's involved, whether it's Wheeler as a champion or not, take the time and check it out, because if you don't go in with the mindset or have an open mind that, okay, it's a wrestling match, but not what I'm used to seeing. They're really very, very good overall, and a very different version of what you normally see.
Yeah, I agree, and we've seen so much improvement from Wheeler Yuta since he started. So it's really nice to see that. All right, so Collision is on TV right now, so let's wrap this up. We got a few good matches from the Continental Classic tonight, so I'm looking forward to watching that. I also want to say before we end, today is John Huber, Brody Lee's birthday, so happy birthday to him.
Rest in peace, Exalted One.
Yes.
One of the, the great losses we've had in the wrestling world over the last few years. So, so yes, happy birthday to John Huber. I hope Amanda and the boys are doing well. So with that, we will end. So Mongrovian, where can anybody find you and give all your shout outs and blah, blah, blah.
Well, shout out to everybody. Mongrovian Mike. There you go. Just look for me. There you'll find me. That's all we need to know. And let me give some flowers to Tony Khan for going into his pocket again and getting a really good song that really helped. I was very proud of seeing Kevin Von Erich come out there and get the crowd yelling for him, Texas crowd cheering him. It was, we know our boy Tony Justice was crying like a Texas baby over that. And we all had tears in our eyes too, man. Love the man. Love the Von Erich family. God bless him.
Yeah. Steven?
You can follow me on the old Twitter machine at Steven_Wyand. And also, you can follow our Nation Sports Show on Twitter at ON_Sports Show, and where we are live on every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific on YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show, where we will be live this Tuesday recapping all of the insane action from week 15 in the NFL, including that epic ass whipping of a lifetime by the Raiders on the
Raiders.
Chargers. The Raiders 63-21. And obviously the news came down yesterday that Brandon Staley has been fired. And the GM has been fired as well. So we will be breaking down all of the news, the ins and the outs that went on this past weekend. And thank you once again for having yours truly on, as Mr. Clutch has came through once again.
Yes.
Man.
Thank you. John?
Well, since normally I'm the one that plugs Steven and his crew over there at Our Nation Sports Show every week at the end, I don't have to because, well, he's here and he just did that. So yeah, thanks, Steven. Thanks for that. But however, rest in peace, Fink. I want to give a shout out real quick to another Nation member who has been absolutely killing it on his own, and that goes out to my brother on the West Coast, in the Bay, Mr. Hijacker Mike, and at Smoking the Bay. If you are a fan of cigars and a cigar aficionado, like most of us and myself included in the Busted Open Cigar Club, hence the American Rebel Cigars shirt today, Mike has come out with his own little series of short clips and stuff. He, besides everything else he does, he works at a cigar lounge, Aloni Cigar Lounge. You can follow them on social media as well. And Mike has been doing these little shorts about different cigars and featuring different types of cigars that even me as a cigar aficionado has opened up my eyes. Mike does a fantastic job. Gives you a little bit of background on them, how they burn and how they taste, and he just does a fantastic job. So give my guy Hijacker Mike a look and a follow, and definitely check out his Smoking the Bay on Instagram, and I believe he's also posting them to his Twitter as well. But very informative, very cool. But other than that, you can follow me at, as it says down there. Oh no, it doesn't say that down there anymore. It just says my name. It says however, you can follow me at Twisted Metal Fab on the Instagram and the Twitter. I refuse to use the word X because Elon Musk is a douchebag. Also, more importantly than that, you can follow the exploits of AK9K, the most dangerous weapon in professional wrestling. Yes, it has its own Instagram. Go check it out at AssKicker9K. You will see some pictures and stuff from our day out today together at the ECW arena at the Icon show.
Yeah,
and I've been looking, and when you go check it out, you'll see, listen, folks, space on AK9K is going to start getting limited, and it's going to start costing you. I'm sorry. For right now, it's whoever wants to step forward and place their sticker upon AK9K and be a part of its journey through the wrestling world, by all means. But I'm telling you, spots are filling fast. Just putting it out there. Might want to get yourselves up on the list now. Hit them up on Instagram.
Best billboard in town.
Yes, at the hit them up on Instagram at AssKicker9K.
Yeah.
Best billboard in town.
What?
We'll do it live.
Oh.
Yes.
Anyway, but other than that, that's it. Everybody, listen. We talk every week and we discuss all the time. Listen, folks. Tribalism sucks. It doesn't do anybody any good, ever. Hasn't, never will, never should be. Shouldn't even be an issue. To paraphrase the absolutely amazing Mr. Ian Riccaboni, people, happy wrestling. Enjoy wrestling. There is literally so much going on, from the smallest indie promotion all the way up to the top promotions we talk about every week. If you can't find anything that you actually like about wrestling, you're not a wrestling fan. Go watch golf.
And to our friends on Discord.
Wait, do it again for them so they hear you in the back, Elder.
All right.
No, that's next week for the holidays. That's when we do the airing of grievances.
There, yes. And I am at That So Debonair on the Twitter machine and on the Instagram. Follow me. Click the link in the bio. Subscribe to that if you feel like it. All that good stuff.
Yes, click the link.
So,
Click it.
Click the link. So yeah, for everyone, our entire Nation's Corner crew, all of us, we thank you for giving us another great year as we get to the end of the year. So happy wrestling.
Yeah, wind it down.
Adieu.